Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jack here from On the Spot Sports, and along with,
Tyler from On the Spot Sports.
and today we have a very special guest. We have Josh Boyko from Aurora University joining us. Josh, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So Josh is currently in his third year playing for Aurora, and he has some spectacular numbers throughout his hockey career. But first, how are you handling being quarantined?
It's kind of boring in a sense. Kind of going through the same things every day. Wake up, do a little schoolwork, and then try and get in whatever house workout you can kind of create, and then do a little bit of cardio somehow, some way, either rollerblading, biking, or just running, doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It's all you can do right now.
Seriously, a lot of video games too.
Yeah,
A lot of video games.
it's important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I've been pretty much doing the same thing with schoolwork, hockey, or off ice training. Like
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of body weight and lift type stuff.
No,
Running.
right there with you.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting time for sure.
Seriously, and seems like it's just gonna keep dragging on and dragging on. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I just want to get back on the ice.
Oh, itching for
Yeah.
it.
First off, what made you get into hockey? Like, when did you start, and why did you choose to be a goalie?
So I started probably playing hockey when I was probably 4 years old. My parents put me into skating lessons. Actually, funny enough, my mom put me in figure skating lessons because it's kind of the way to learn to skate the best. And then I lived in Toronto at that point. And then when I was about 6, we moved to Mississauga. And I met one of my best buddies this day, Brandon Rowe, and his goalie quit. And I was playing road hockey with him in his driveway, and his mom asked if my mom if I'd be interested in playing or learning to play goalie. And my mom asked me in the car ride home, and I said, "Yeah, I'm good at road hockey. Goalie can't be that much different." And been a goalie since, so kind of learned pretty quickly that way.
Yeah. So how do you do after you said it wasn't as hard as or wasn't as different than road hockey?
It was kind of a wake-up call, to be completely honest. First shot I faced, took it in the hand, and it bruised my hand pretty good. So that was a little interesting. Tennis balls typically don't do that for you when you're playing road hockey. So it was a little bit of an adjustment period, but the guys I had around me, coaches, stuff, I've loved it since.
Yeah. So what teams have you played on throughout your youth hockey career?
So I played for the local Super 16, which is Lauren Park, and we had some pretty cool players on that team. Mikey McLeod was one of them. He's playing for New Jersey Devils now. One of my good buddies, Jacob Hayhurst, he's at the University of Michigan. Actually, just finished off. Unfortunately, their season kind of ended abruptly. So when I was really young, played for them, and then played for the Mississauga Rebels for a year. Then moved on to the Junior Canadians for 3 years. Then bounced back to the Rebels for 1 year. Then went to the Vaughan Kings the following year, which was kind of cool because got to play with some that team was pretty stacked for name wise. We had Mitch Marner on that team, which is pretty cool. And then after that year for draft year, I went to the Marlies, which had Strome, who's obviously playing for the Chicago Blackhawks. Mitchell Stevens, who's playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and a few other guys. So that was a really, really fun year. And I mean, playing with those guys, you drew a lot of OHL scouts to those games. So Dylan going number 2 in the OHL draft. We had scouts at every single one of our games, and they were always packed. And I'll never forget too, we played in the OHL Cup, and that is the biggest tournament just before the draft, and it was Travis Konecny versus Dylan Strome. We were going 1 and 2, and we played them in the semifinals. And Stromer scored for us to get a 1-0 win with I think it was 25 seconds left. And I'll never forget how packed it was, and just how excited everybody was the minute he scored and stuff like that. Now we kind of cemented the 1-2 pairing, but no, it was fun playing growing up in the GTHL and all the talent and everything you play for. So. Yeah, I kind of played there and moved on as time went on.
That seems like a stacked lineup. Seems like
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. Practices are always very, very competitive.
Yeah, I can tell. What were they like personally? Like, were they nice?
Personally, awesome guys. I mean, I'm still in touch with Stromer to this day. Playing Xbox actually with him the other day, so that was pretty funny. Went down, saw him at a few Blackhawk games this year as well. But no, they're all super nice guys. Still keep in touch with them every once in a while and just see how they're doing, stuff like that. So no, they can't say nice things about them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I was able to play against those guys.
Yeah, no, definitely a privilege of mine.
Yeah.
Back on and stuff like that.
Yeah, you mentioned the game with sorry, go ahead, Jack. If you
No, you go.
Yeah, you mentioned the game with Strome scoring that goal with about 25 seconds left. Could you say that's one of your like most fond moments of your career so far, having that like last second victory with him?
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun one. It was just like you look around and I remember like you have the stands packed and then you look like beside you on the bench and there was fans literally standing beside you from like the very edge of the boards all around the glass and just like we scored. I just remember like looking around, everyone was just jumping around and just screaming. It was awesome. It was so cool. So cool.
Seems like that's unreal atmosphere. Be like,
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those things you kind of dream about, right? You like you want to be like there and experience those kinds of things. So it was really cool.
Yeah. So then you went on to play 16U and 18U with Selects Hockey Academy, right?
Yeah, so I went to a prep school for those 2 years. So that would have been my grade 11 and 12 year of high school, and that was really cool. It was something definitely new to me. I moved to Connecticut, and spent 2 years at that boarding school, and I absolutely loved it. It was very different, just in the aspect of I've never been that far away from home. But I think it was like almost 10 and a half hours from home at that point, and being 15 at the time, it was definitely a definitely new learning experience. But again, just a really cool experience. Kind of going a different route in that aspect of going the college route at that point. It was cool because like when you play back in the GTHL, you're taught go OHL, go HL, go HL, and you go to Connecticut and it's all go college hockey, go college hockey, go college hockey. So it was cool playing there. I loved it. That like when I was playing in the GTHL, I was not really a starter at that point. And so when I played at Selects, I finally got my opportunity to be a starter. And so that was really nice and an opportunity for me to kind of grow as a hockey player and kind of see if I actually had kind of what it took. And so I played 2 years there and I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best times of my life and still really, really close to a lot of those guys. A lot of those guys did move on to play D1 hockey too, which was really, really cool to see. And a lot of them are still doing really well where they're at.
Yeah. So was it hard to get used to being in that starter role when you came in?
Pardon me?
Was it hard getting into that starter role when you got in?
Yeah, I mean, it's just more consistency, and I think that's like one of the hardest things. And like for any goalie, like everyone says, consistency is key. And so learning to kind of play like back-to-back nights and stuff like that, or back-to-back games in the same day, it's a mental grind, and it was something that I definitely benefited from moving on, especially going to juniors and stuff like that. There's stretches where you play like 6 or 7 games in a row and stuff like that. And so mentally you got to be ready for it. And it was awesome. It was a huge learning experience for me. And everybody around me too was super, like they were competitive and the coaches were really good about like, hey, do you need this off? Do you need like, what do you need? And stuff like that. So it was really good. It was, like I said, it was a huge learning experience for me.
Yeah, you mentioned it was impacting your career just going not only far away from home, but into that starting role right away. Could you maybe explain what like phases of your career, like how did it personally impact you and your career going that far and then going into that starting role just right away?
Yeah, no, it was hard because like you play like GTHL and all you want to do is be the star. You want to be the guy that's in the net and stuff like that. And I think one of the biggest things, like I said, like that during that game when it was Travis versus Dylan, like I was watching that game. I didn't get to play that one, unfortunately. So like being there, but being like, oh damn, I want to be in the net for this, but not being able to go into Selects, I was like, okay, now I have the opportunity to kind of take over that role. Like let's make the most of it and let's be the guy for that. And so it was nice. I mean, like I said, the coaches were super good about it, and it was the first time ever Selects made the national tournament. So we played in the USA national championship tournament, which was really cool. I mean, it's the top 16 teams in the country going at it, and it was cool to be a part of that and to be able to start pretty much every game there and stuff like that was awesome. It was super cool.
Did you expect to be in a starting role right away, or were you kind of keeping all options open, like maybe I might have some competition?
They did give me the coaches did tell me, you're more than likely to be our starter, but it's not going to be given to you. You have to earn it. Like we're getting this, like obviously we have the plan for you to be there, but if you don't play and perform, then it's not going to be yours. So I had the mindset that was mine, but it was mine to lose. So like some coaches say, here's the keys to Ferrari, just don't crash it. So that was kind of the mindset I kind of went in with, and it was, like I said, it was mine to lose, and had some fun with it. So it was cool.
Yeah, so you said you played in the playoff games that year. So like, what was that experience like compared to like playing like the regular season?
Oh, it was good. I mean, way more intense. Like when we went to national tournament, you're playing Culver, and it's do or die at that point. And like I said, it was the exact opposite. I actually got to be in net, and it wasn't as packed, but it was still a good crowd. And mentally, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, better have some fun with it because it could be the last one. So, like, we had a good team. We actually went out. We won 3-0 kind of we were the underdogs in that game, and we got to move on. And I remember we played North Jersey Avalanche, and we lost 2-1, which was tough, but it was just super cool. And we had a lot of support from the school coming down to our headmaster and priest flew out from Connecticut to Buffalo, and they came and watched and support us, which was awesome. But no, it was good. I mean, playoffs is always another animal, and it's always fun to be a part of. Like you watch NHL hockey games and you see playoffs, and it's just not even remotely close to regular season. Just the way guys are selling out, the energy in the building, the energy from the guys. It's just a whole different animal, and it's just so much fun to be a part of.
Yeah, so did you have to like prepare anything any differently than you were in the regular season, or no?
Try not to. Whatever's working in the regular season, you don't really kind of want to change it up now. In a sense, like it shouldn't change in your mindset, but obviously you do know that it's different. But yeah, I try to keep it as simple and to what I've been doing during the regular season as I could.
Do you think that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You mentioned trying not to change anything up for regular season and playoffs, and actually, I was going to ask a similar question related to that. Did your mindset change at all? Did you feel a little more pressure that you had to maybe feel a little bit change?
Definitely felt a little more pressure. I try not to let that get to me as much as I possibly could, but it definitely did get to me sometimes. Just like mentally getting in my own head, and like that's one of the learning experiences I've had. It's just like having fun with it, and not one getting down on yourself, and two just like staying in the moment, like not thinking about anything else. But yeah, no, it definitely can, and it definitely did at some points.
Yeah, so were you nervous at that time? And like, how do you deal with the nervousness or the pressure?
Nervous, yeah, definitely felt points where I got nervous, and just deep breaths, and just remembering why you're there and why you're in that position and how you got there. And the moment, like the more I thought about it, the more I relaxed and just enjoyed what I was doing. It made me feel more at ease. I mean, I always test myself. I always like test two on the very first shot of the game. If I make the save and it's a nice, easy one, I'm okay. You know what? Today it's going to be a fine game. You know what? We're going to relax. It's when I let in the first shot in the first period, and you're like, oh, okay.
That rattles you.
Yeah, better wake up here and better find a way to refocus. But no, yeah, just try to keep it simple and just breathe, relax, and just trust why you're there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment? Oh, again, man. Have you ever had a moment where you had that happen to you and you had to snap out of whatever not good mindset you were in? How did you kind of rebound from those kind of times during a game?
Yeah, no, actually it was the second game of the national tournament. We were playing a team that we should have like probably beat pretty handedly. And I remember I got to the first period and I felt good. In the second period, I gave it 3 goals on 3 shots. And I went, wow, what just happened? And all of a sudden it went from us being up 2-0 to being down 3-2, a team that, like I said, we should have beat pretty handily. Thankfully, we came back and won, I think, 5-3. But it was just like, one, it was myself just saying like, hey, relax, like, you know what to expect. Don't take the team for granted. And as well as my teammates were really good about things. They were always there like, hey, you know what? Like, you've been back here all year. Like, you know what to do. Trust yourself and trust in us. Like, we're going to get through this, no problem. And that was huge for me. Just like knowing that the boys had my back as well, which was massive for me. But yeah, no, just when I got in those moments, it was just go back to what worked. And don't like simplify everything. Don't challenge too much. Don't sink back too much. Just little things like that.
Yeah, so you also won a few awards that year, if I'm correct. Like I believe you won best save percentage.
Yeah.
You goaltender of the year as well.
Yeah, for the USPHL, that was pretty cool. I mean, never really won anything like that before, and so winning it for the first time was pretty cool. It was definitely like it was a testament, one, to like how much work I'd put in the summer and with all the goalie coaches I'd been working with, and so it was nice to get a little bit of recognition there. And that was one thing that I could always look back on too, going to the national tournament, stuff like that. When we got in those moments, be like, you won this, like, you know what to do, you know how to do this, like, don't give up on yourself, don't think like this. So no, that definitely was a nice little boost and a little pick me up there. So no, yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it's always a nice little thing to look back on and stuff like that.
Yeah, you also had a ton of good numbers too, especially your goals against average and save percentage. Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, at some points it was fun. Like I said, like we had a really, really good team, both my U16 and U18 year. Limoges he's at Penn State right now, and he's in his 3 years he's already over 100 points, and I mean, even finished this year. So he put up a lot of points when he was with us at South Kent. And a couple other guys are playing D1. Austin McElmurray, he's at Sacred Heart. He just finished. We had a couple of other kids who were committed D1 that ended up going D3 as well with me. But Colorado College, Quinnipiac, original commits, went there for a year and then come back down to D3. But like we were really good up and down the lineup, and it was just a lot of fun. So they made my job pretty easy. One of my buddies too, he's playing for Columbus now, Andrew Peak, and he was one of my defensemen. I've never had a defenseman score more on me in my life. Like, just between accidental off the skates or like try to intercept a pass but tip it in. Actually, it was our U18 year when I was at South Kent. We were playing in the USPHL championship, and I think it was 3-3 going into OT. And sure enough, the overtime winner is a shot from the point that he tries to stop, and it hits a stick and goes top corner. And we just kind of looked at each other. In a sense, we kind of laughed. We're like, if we're going to lose, like, go figure, Peaker. It's you scoring on me again. And he kind of looked at me and laughed. But it was obviously upsetting because we wanted to win that for sure. But, no, it was just funny how I've never had someone like him score as much as he does. But, no, he's an awesome defenseman as well on top of that. He knows what he's doing playing for Columbus now, and they're being the captain of Notre Dame last year. But, no, yeah, he's an awesome guy, and he's a great defenseman.
Yeah, so after your U16, U18 years, you entered into junior hockey and played in the OJHL, which is the Ontario Junior Hockey League for the Aurora Tigers. What was that first year of juniors like?
Oh, my first year of juniors was an absolute grind. Getting there, was nothing short of easy. I tried out for 11 different junior teams that year and got cut by 10 of them. I was talked to Sam and Arm in the BCHL, went out there, went through camp, looked really good the first day, like really good the second day, and the third day I just fell apart. Just did not look good at all. And everything kind of went out the window there. Tried out in the AJ. They asked me to come back in the fall for main camp, and we'll see how you go. So was kind of up in the air on that. Talked to a couple SJ teams. Those kind of winded out, didn't go there. It tried out for a bunch of OJHL teams, just like couldn't find a spot, and then tried out and then got a call from the general manager of the Aurora Tigers. So just talked to him a little bit, went out and skated, and he finally gave me a shot, and I absolutely loved it. I had 4 goalie partners that year, just between guys getting injured. My first goalie partner at the beginning of the year didn't even get to play the first game of the year. He had a heart not a heart attack, but he had something wrong with his heart, so he had to sit out that year. So lost him, and then we traded for a guy from the BC, and he came in. They fired our coach. We brought in a new coach, and our coach brought a guy from the O. So they traded away that goalie. They brought in the guy from the O. And the guy from the O had to have knee surgery, so he was done. So then I finally got a chance to start, and then we brought in the junior B goalie to be my backup. It was crazy between all that, but it was a lot of fun my first year. I learned a lot in that sense, but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
Did it go better than what you expected, or besides for like 4 goalie partners, but like the overall season?
Yeah, no. I knew going in I was gonna be a backup. The coach told me that, and I didn't expect anything less. I expected it to be a learning year, just kind of watch and then take over the next year. So being actually able to play 27 games I got to was a lot more than I thought I was going to be able to get. And so for me, it was a huge success, and I did really well too. I had a lot of good guys on my team that were just fun to be around, and were super like understanding about like my position and being a rookie. And so they tried to make my job as easy as possible, and we just went from there. But no, yeah, I definitely did a lot better than I thought I was going to do. So that was a huge confidence booster there.
Yeah, you mentioned I think it was 10 teams that caught you before you got a call from Aurora.
Yeah.
What was your mindset after? Like, were you down on yourself after that happened so many times? Like, what made you get to that point where you didn't give up on yourself before you got the call from Aurora?
Yeah, I was really close to stop playing hockey and to follow lacrosse. I was really, really close in that sense. It was definitely really tough. I remember like talking to my family, just being like, well, we're kind of running out of time here. We got to make a decision. And we have actually a music festival here called Boots and Hearts. It's a country festival. And I remember my parents being like, don't go to that. Don't go to that. I was like, I'm going. Like, I need something to relax and like get my mind away from hockey for a couple days. Like, just need to go have some fun and relax. I remember that's when he called me. But it was just knowing that I'd worked so hard up to now, don't give up. Like see us all the way through, and come September, if you got into a spot, then hockey's not meant to be. I got my call in early August, and I was like, all right, we gotta grind now. Like, let's get everything you got, and if you're gonna go out at least saying, you know what, you tried your very, very best. So thankfully he believed in me and gave me that shot, and I the minute I moved on to D3, I gave him a call and just said thank you for taking that chance on me.
Yeah, so what was it like playing that many games, especially when you came in thinking you're just gonna be a backup?
It was cool. I mean, it was fun. We had actually our local provider around here is called Rogers TV, and they actually ended up doing a lot of our games. So it was fun playing in front of like an actual TV camera versus like being taped through hockey TV or something like that. So that was a little bit of motivation, and just the people around me were just awesome, and they made my transition. Like, there's one defenseman I had named Kyle Locke, who was a super nice guy, and he'd been there for 2 years before that, played in the OHL for a couple of years, and he just made everything a lot easier with that. And then I had my two car mates I drove with every day that were defensemen, Nicholas Tarenko and Spencer Herbst. And they were really good guys as well, just like helping me out with everything. So they made my job pretty easy, but I loved it. I had so much fun with the opportunity I was getting, and I remember my parents were at a lot of our games, which was really cool. So yeah, no, I didn't expect anything that I got that year, and I was so glad that with everything I got, I was really grateful for it.
Yeah, that's awesome that you had like so many people that are like supporting you from the team, and
yeah,
family especially.
Seriously,
I get you through those moments for sure.
Oh, 100%. Couldn't be more grateful for that.
Yeah, so you guys also went to the playoffs, and you played in 6 games, I believe. What was that year of junior playoffs like?
It was awesome. I remember we went up. We lost the first game there with 20 seconds left. We lost 2-1 against Wellington on a shot from like the hash marks, and I remember being like, oh, just being like, oh, that's a heartbreaker. But it's the first game, so we'll bounce back. And we won the next game, and then they took the lead, and then we came back, and then they took the lead going into game 6, and that game was just an absolute just crap show from the very get-go. Like gave it the first shot in the first period. We scored to tie it up, then they scored 3 shots later. I didn't feel comfortable at all. I was letting all the nerves get to me. And I just remember our team just kept battling, and we just kept tying it up regardless of how bad or how good we were playing. Like we just always were finding a way, and in overtime, just a bad bounce happens, and guy chips it over me like a if you're playing golf and you pull out your wedge and you just take this high little chip shot, and it just found a way to get over my defense and over me, and then it was a heartbreaker. But it was a huge learning experience for me, because that's really when I knew I had to find a way to control my nerves, because I was letting it get to me big time, and that was huge moving on to my next year juniors, being like, okay, you've literally just faced like probably the worst you're going to face your fear, like your nerves. Like, you know what to expect now. Like there's no real excuse for yourself to let yourself get to that spot. So I loved the playoffs atmosphere. Like I said, is a different animal, and it definitely was that year for me. But it was fun. It was super cool.
Yeah. So, what was the biggest thing you learned that year about playoffs, regular season, junior hockey, like anything?
Just enjoy it. Like enjoying what I'm being able to do, and to just always like trust in yourself regardless of like how bad things are getting and how hard work is, and stuff like that. Just like know that you're gonna get through it and stuff like that. And that was huge. Like never giving up. Like I said, tried out for 10 junior teams to finally find that one spot. It was just never giving up, which was like probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. So, going into that next season, you played for the Brookings Blizzard in the Null.
Yeah.
You played 51 games that season. What was it like double the amount of games you used to?
Yeah, I played 51 of 60 games that year. It was crazy. There was moments too where I remember I got pulled, I think 2 or 3 times that year. And I remember my goalie partner, I don't know how he did it. I still don't know how he did it to this day. Like how he just sat there and just kind of let me go with it. But I remember there'd be nights where I get pulled, and like he'd come in and he'd be a wall for us. And like there was one night he came back, we were down 4-2, and they pulled me and they put him in, and we came back and won that game in a shootout. And I remember being like, you're starting tomorrow. Like there's no possible way that they let me go back in after that and you cutting it back for us to win. And sure enough, I go back the next night, and I just like, we look at each other and we're just like, how does this happen? Like, how is this making any sense? But that was a really fun year as well. A lot of like that, like compared to my Aurora year, my Brookings year was a lot more fun. Just a lot more guys my age that I could like kind of connect with in that sense. Skill wise, the atmosphere, the OJ is, because of everything you can do around in Ontario. You can go to the Leafs hockey games, you can go to OHL games. The OJ isn't as well packed, but when you go to places like Brookings in South Dakota, I was 13 hours away from home, living with an unbelievable billet family, but there's nothing out there. There's nothing to do. So you're getting like 1,000 to 2,000 fans a game, and you're like, oh, this is what junior hockey's really like. This is what people like actually play for and stuff like that. And so that made it a lot more fun. And we had a lot of cool guys that year. 2 guys on our team got drafted that year to Vegas. Paul Cotter, who's playing for the
he plays for our hometown, the Wolves.
Yeah, plays for the Wolves. Yeah. So he's playing there. And then our other buddy, Brandon Cruz, he's playing at Bowling Green right now. And he's another Vegas draft pick. So that was cool. So no, yeah. So I stay in touch with both of them actually, and they're both loving it. I was actually talking to Paul not too long ago, and me and him always used to do 10 puck just before, or 7 puck just before the Friday before a game in morning skate. And he was telling me how Sparks and Dance won't do it with him, and he's getting frustrated because that's all he loves to do that. And so he was kind of bugging me about that. But no, yeah. That was a fun year. I loved it. It was way different in terms of atmosphere. Your travel is way more. Our shortest trip, our closest team was 2 hours away for us to play, and our farthest was 9.
Wow.
So you'd pack up on a bus on Thursday and go to those teams that were 9 hours away, and after your game, and you'd have to drive home after, which wasn't far. It was like a 10-minute drive, if even that. But you're getting in, like, you're trying not to wake up your billet family. And we had I think she's 3. Her name was Emma. And then I had no, she would have been 5 and he was 8. And so we didn't want to wake them up as well as our billet parents. And but they were awesome. Tracy and Chad, they were awesome people. And I was super lucky to have them as billet parents after hearing about all the billet horror stories you do from some junior teams and some junior guys.
Yeah.
So, wow, I got lucky with that one.
Yeah, it's always good to have that supportive billet family that you know about.
Big time. Make you feel at home.
For real, yeah. And I actually talked to Paul a few times during the season.
Oh, really? He's a really nice guy. Yeah. Really nice guy.
Yeah, so since you're playing so many games that year, like, what did you do to, like, help yourself recover, since it obviously has a big toll on your body?
Yeah, I did a lot of stretching that year. Everyone always tells you to stretch and stuff like that, and I was like, I was always I'll stretch if I really, really need to. It's not like huge. I'll stretch before games. With practice, I'll just get on the ice and I'll stretch. I'll just kind of go at it at my own pace, but that was kind of you need to stretch, relax. Like, when you're not playing, you just put your feet up, do what you can to keep your body in, like, good shape, keep eating healthy, but, like, don't overexhaust yourself, because you're going to be playing 2 more games this weekend. Just don't kill yourself. And my brother is definitely realizing that right now. He's at the University of Vermont, and he learned that this past year after playing in Brooks, Alberta, where they won the national championship and stuff like that. And he says the same thing about recovering and taking ice baths and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, it's huge.
Yeah, recovery is huge for goalies, especially. Like,
big time.
I use, like, the gun thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the thermogun and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, our school just got one of those for us for on the road. And so guys love that thing. They absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's sick. So, what was your biggest takeaway during that season? Like, what did you learn since you're playing so many games?
Playing a lot of games, like you said, recovery. Recovery is huge. After games and practice and stuff like that, like eating healthy, making sure that the body isn't being overworked too much, and, like, fully resting when I can. That was a big thing for me. And then also time management, just knowing what I can get done and stuff like that. Like, thankfully, I wasn't in school yet. I still had 1 more year of juniors before I had to start taking classes. But just, like, reaching out to teams and stuff like that about playing college hockey and stuff, that was pretty big. Figuring out how to do that, how to do it in a professional way, but also not being too pushy about sending out emails and stuff like that. So I was doing a lot of that while I was at home.
Yeah, so going into college hockey, like, what made you choose Aurora compared to, like, all the other schools that probably had offers for you?
Yeah, so I talked to a few different schools at the end of our season. My parents are pretty adamant on me going to school, as well as myself. I thought would be a good idea now. Played 2 years of junior and kind of starting to start getting back into classes and to play college hockey and start to move up the ladder there. So Aurora just has a really, really strong business program. So for academics, that was a huge pull for me. And then the opportunity to come in as a freshman and play a lot. So we have 25 game seasons, which is like really short. So that was kind of nice, but also at the same time, like the division we're playing in, it's always the team that comes out of our division. It always makes it typically to the Frozen Four for D3. So the first year I was there, Norbert ended up winning it that year. My second year, Norbert made it pretty far that year, and this year Adrian had a really strong team. So they would have done really well, I think, come the tournament time. So just the fact that it was going to be a really strong league, so a lot of room for improvement in my game and to solidify things. So that was also a really big drawing point. But just like as well as the coaching staff, Brian Dempsey's our goalie coach there. He's a tremendous guy, willing to kind of do whatever he can for you, which is awesome. Obviously, definitely knows the game of hockey as well, which is huge. Our coach Jason Blumenberg is a good guy. Knows what to do with us, and he's super open with me too, which is great. So he tells me like if I need anything. He also tells me if he sees something I'm doing wrong. Oftentimes you don't want to hear it, but at the same time you know what's best for you. So I appreciate him for doing that. But no, yeah, just everything that was going on, and then we had a Colgate assistant coming in, so he was there for 2 years getting his master's. And then Jessica Greenberg from Peoria, he ended up coming to us this past year and will be with us again next year for 2 years. So it'll be he's been awesome so far, as well as all the other guys.
How is college hockey at Aurora differed from all the other leagues that you've played in throughout your hockey career?
It's good. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. To be completely honest, like coming out of juniors, I wasn't expecting it to be all that great. To be completely honest, I was like, whenever I hear D3, I'm like, oh, D3, like, you know what? Like, I don't know if this is going to be good hockey or not. Had kind of a bad mindset about it, to be completely honest. And the minute I got there and we played our first game against Stevens Point, and Stevens Point whooped our ass that game, just killed us. We lost 7-1 that game, and it was just a giant punch to the face, just saying like, you need to get whatever mindset you have out of your head now, because it's just far from the truth. And so like that's probably the biggest takeaway I've had so far is D3 is way better than what people give it credit for. Actually, the goaltender for Norwich this year just signed the AHL for Rockford. So I mean, like D3 hockey is way better than what people give it credit for. And for anybody that's like thinking about like D3 the way I was, like it's not what they think it is. That was definitely the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, so you played 19 of the 25 games you said that season. So what do you think? How do you think your first year of college hockey went?
It was definitely a little rough off the start. Yeah, no. So playing 19 games was fun. I mean, definitely didn't have the right mindset going in, but it definitely improved really quickly. Made the most of it for the opportunity I was given. In rookie NCHA team that year, which was pretty cool. So that was a nice little feather in my cap. I mean, that was definitely one of the goals Dempsey as well as the rest of the coaching staff set out for me. They wanted me to make that team, and then the following year they didn't. Obviously, second year it's going to be they call it the sophomore slump. So guys typically don't do as well their second year as they do their first year, and then they pick it back up third and fourth year. So the goal for the second year was to not hit sophomore slump. To be completely honest, it was a goal just to stay as even keel as I possibly could. But no, yeah, freshman year was a learning experience, that's for sure. But we had a lot of fun with it at the same time.
Yeah, so your freshman year, you go, Ty.
Oh, okay. So your mindset, you said freshman year, you did not have a good one coming right in. Did that affect the way you played, like right off the bat? Like your mindset wasn't that good, so did that affect the way you played the first little bit?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I remember when I came on my visit, like, you're going to play the first game against Stevens Point. And I remember the practices up to that first game, I was dog crap. I was not good, and I ended up not starting the first game. And I remember the coaches were just like, you need to bring more. And that was a huge shot to me. And I was like, yeah, I need to change whatever I'm doing right now and like figure things out, because this is going to be a very short stint if this continues. And it was good that they did that to me. It was a really good wake up call. And all of a sudden everything in my head switched, and I treated it more. I gave it way more respect, and I started to work way harder in practices and stuff like that. So no, it was really good.
Yeah, so since you had like your bad mindset and at the beginning of the season, and it definitely changed throughout the course of the season, you won NCHA All Freshman Team. So what was that like for you, getting that award?
That was good. It was a good something to build off of next year. That's for sure. It was something like, you know what, keep working out. You made All Freshman Team, now make All NCHA Team. Now that's what you gotta strive for. Like that's gotta be the next thing, and making playoffs. Make playoffs, make NCHA Team. That was a goal. I think we finished like 4 points out of playoffs my freshman year. And it was so close too. It came down to the final weekend. Like we win our last 2 games, we're in playoffs. We lost both games, so we're out of playoffs. It was that close. So it was definitely a good push me forward for the next year. So I took that into my following years and worked really hard that off season with my goalie coach back home.
Yeah, so going into your second season with the team, like you said, you didn't want to fall in that sophomore slump.
Yeah.
And you played 24 of the games that season. So how do you think you performed that season? And do you think you'd fall under the sophomore slump category or not?
I definitely improved that year. So I definitely skipped over the sophomore slump, which was good. We spent more time with my goalie coaches that summer as well as that season, talking with Dempsey. Like we would meet up for breakfast or something like that and just talk about the game that we just played and how we can go from there. And I remember we played Trine the night before, and we should have beat Trine that year. Like that like in our heads going into those games, we thought that it would be a lot easier, and they kicked our ass. They're better than us. And we lost 4-0, and we were playing Adrian going into the next night. And Adrian at the time I think was ranked 8th in the country. And I remember meeting up with Dempsey for breakfast that next morning, just before playing Adrian. And he's just like, you got to believe in yourself, like, and you got to like focus on every puck one by one. And that was huge for me. And I remember going from that game into the last 7 games of the year, I played really well. I had a really good stretch then. And we made playoffs that year, which was huge. It was the first time in team history for us to make playoffs. And we lost the first game 3-2 against Lake Forest, and then beat them 5-1. And we have this, I don't understand why the NCHA does it, but they do a mini game for game 3. So it's a best 2-out-of-3 series, but it's a mini game for the final game. So you play, after you finish that second game, you do a flood and you redo the game, but you play 1 period. So it's like you play 1 period and it's it's like a regular period. And then if it's tied after that, you go into overtime and it's next goal wins. So it sucks because it's not an actual hockey game. So we scored first with, I think, 8 minutes left, and then they scored with 4 minutes left. So we went into overtime and we lost on that, which was super unfortunate. So that sucked, but it was a huge leap for us, just like for the program and what we had strived out to do and stuff like that. So that was really good. But it was just kind of like why are we doing it this way? Like, why is this not just another game?
Yeah, that just seems weird.
Yeah, it's just kind of rushed. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, but we still have ties too, which kind of sucks. Like you go into overtime and it's 5-on-5 and it's 5 minutes, and if no one scores, each team gets a point. But if someone scores, the team gets 2 points, and the team gets no points. So
very interesting.
Yeah. So this year we set a record for most ties. I think we had 7 ties this year.
Wow. It
was stupid. Which kind of sucks because you guys to watch 3-on-3 hockey. It's the most entertaining thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching NHL hockey just so I can see teams like Edmonton and stuff like that, where they go into 3-on-3 and you see McDavid just absolutely take over. Nathan McKinnon or Ovechkin could go down the wing and take a slap shot from the top of the circle and go bar down and make it look like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like, how is this possible? Just stuff like that. It's just way more entertaining hockey.
Yeah, and 3-on-3 is literally all action packed. There's no dead moment in 3-on-3.
You're so right. There's always something going on. If one guy slips, it's a 3-on-2 the other way, and it's just like, okay, like good, like this is what we want to watch, not 5-on-5, dump it in the corner and just play out the clock. Like, it kind of sucks in that sense, but.
Yes. So talking about ties, like going into this season, you played 27 games, and you're 12-9-6. So you had 6 of the 7 ties, and you also had 5 shutouts. So what went well for you for this season?
Building off everything. A lot of time this summer in the having him shoot on me is a huge benefit for me because he's an elite shooter and he can pick corners on me that I think I'm there but I'm not there. So having that throughout the summer is a huge benefit for me. And so I spent a lot of time with him as well as over the past couple of years, but we just we fool around and stuff like that. And he's pretty good at breakaways. We have obviously because we're brothers, we compete a lot. Like me and him, we go at it a lot. And breakaways we spend a lot of time on and stuff like that. So mentally, we just focus, like with my goalie coach, we focus on that as well as with Dempsey. We focus on a lot of mental stuff. And so this year, it just all came together for me. It was just mentally, I was always there. I had the most fun I've had in the net in a long time. This year, just mentally, I was so much more calm and relaxed versus previous years where I'd stiffen up every now and then. But this year was just enjoying actually playing hockey and being out there and not thinking anything else other than let's just go have fun. And so that was a huge key to success this year. And then just the support I always get from family, teammates, the girlfriend, everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have the same friend that just randomly pick corners that you think you're there, and it sucks.
Yeah. Oh, it sucks because you get frustrated with yourself, but at the same time you're like, this is good. This is to get scored on because I'd rather be scored on right now when it means nothing.
Yeah.
In a game with 2 minutes left because I know that one I'll make that save.
Yeah.
No, it's huge. It's great to have people like that. To get to practice with and play with. So I have a bunch of those friends. So I get to do that, which is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So with all this COVID-19 stuff coming into play, were you guys affected by any of that?
Thankfully not for the hockey season. I play lacrosse as well at school, so I do hockey in the winter, and then once hockey season's over, I'll join the lacrosse team and play there. But that got shut down our 4th game of the season, which kind of sucked. Yeah, so that was a big shutdown for everybody. I remember it was mid-practice we found out, but for our team, we were gonna have team workouts and stuff like that, but all that obviously got shut down really quickly. So actually, we're having a team Skype call on Monday just to kind of catch up with everybody and see what everybody's up to. But pretty sure it's all going to be kind of the same answers in video games and schoolwork. So I mean, it's kind of going to be the same there. But thankfully it didn't affect us, but it affected the season and how everybody else played out. Like the goalie that committed or that signed in the AHL, he had a 9-game shutout streak going. Just just stupid. He had 13. He set a career NCAA record for men's, women's, D1, D3, 13 shutouts in the season, 9 in a row. Just stupid.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. So, I mean, it would have been cool just to see how much longer he could have gone that for. Their team was stacked too. They're number 1 team in the country, but those are just stupid numbers. You read up on them and you're just there's no way this is happening. He had a 0.7 goals against average, and they had a 960 save percentage. It was just stupid.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So, it ruined that. So like everyone that made the tournament didn't get to play. Unfortunately, didn't even get to the first round. It was all shut down right then and there. So it would have been cool to see, like I said, how well Adrian would have done this year. I thought they were really strong, and I think they would have made a push at least for the Frozen Four, if not the finals. They had skill. They were deep. They also had 7 D1 transfers, so they were pretty stacked on the offensive side. But no, it would have been cool to see what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. At least it didn't like affect like your season, but like it obviously affected like the Frozen Four and like all the tournaments. And it affected your lacrosse season, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, it definitely sucks in that sense. Like I wish I was still playing hockey at that point. In a sense, I'd rather have COVID come in and say, yeah, you're not playing, than being like, okay, my hockey season's over. It didn't affect it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little salty on both ends. Like it sucks, but at the same time, there's literally nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. So you said you played lacrosse. You play lacrosse too. So does it like how does any of your like hockey like skills transfer to lacrosse? Like your hands?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely like being able to see things that a typical player wouldn't see because of the fact that we have to stop pucks through traffic and stuff like that. I play offense in lacrosse, so if guys throw me the ball and there's someone kind of right in front of me, I'll still find a way to be able to see it just because of my goaltending instincts. Like you're taught to be able to look around people and to find a lane to the ball or to the puck. Like you got to be able to find it, and if it's by you, you should stop it. So for lacrosse, I take the same mentality, and if it's around me, I gotta find a spot where the ball can get to me, or I have to find where the ball is. And so that was huge, and it allowed me to actually have a really, really good sophomore year playing lacrosse and stuff like that. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I was looking at some of your stats from lacrosse, and it said you had like 71 goals in like 19 games, something like that.
Yeah, I set a school record for most goals in a season and most goals in a game. I think I had 11 last year in one game. So that was fun. It was interesting. Going from I got a lot of crap from the hockey guys. Always just like coming home and living with hockey guys. You're always gonna give each other crap, but no, it was cool. It was a fun year. I had a lot of good teammates around me, which made my job really easy. And just putting the ball in the net. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. So what has your lacrosse career been like in college?
In college, it's been fun. I mean, first year, I didn't play it pretty much at all. I was kind of in the midst of like kind of quitting lacrosse and just focusing full time on hockey after my freshman year of lacrosse. But I got talked back into it by a couple of the guys and one of the coaches. They're just like, come back. Like we got spots open, like we like just play, like you'll have fun. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a go. And so yeah, it was ended up being a really, really fun year, and we got a new coach that year too. So he gave me way more opportunity than I thought he was going to give me, to be completely honest. And I was thankful for him to give me the opportunity that he did. So that was cool. I mean, the guys are understanding too. I mean, I would be pretty like in a sense butthurt, like watching someone who doesn't play a sport and doesn't train with like the team all year, not play, like not practice with it all, and then come game time just show up and be like, okay, you're gonna play. It'd be hard to watch. So for the guys being as understanding and open as they are, it's a testament, one, to like who they are as people, and two, like just like how inviting the program is. So definitely got lucky and thankful with those guys, as well as just like my coaches for hockey being allowing me to do it. I mean, they see this great cardio for me, so they're not really gonna say like, oh, don't stay in shape by doing that. They're like, go do it, just don't be an idiot and get hurt.
Yeah.
No, it's you kind of giggle at it, but it's just like, yeah, no, I get it. Like last thing I do is get hurt playing my second sport and be out for the hockey season. So
yeah, I kind of like that, have that same situation, because I run cross country and track at Elmhurst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I also play men's league and rat hockey and stuff like that right now. And my coaches are always like, "You can do that, just don't be an idiot and get hurt."
Yeah, exactly. They don't want you. And like, I get, I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but it's like I still want to do this. So no,
Yeah.
you're kind of
hockey's a sport I love. So
yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing too is like we have a couple of cross guys play club hockey for us, and so the coach is like, yeah, go ahead, you can do it. And so again, it's just a testament to who they are as people, letting us be able to do two things that we love.
yeah, for sure. Especially so like if you play D1, I don't think they'd allow that at all.
100%. I totally agree. Like with their workout routines and everything like that, like it's crazy. Just like how much time they ask you to put in and to not get hurt and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, there's no way that would happen.
Yeah. So is your mindset like the same for like hockey and lacrosse, or does it change depending on the sport?
Oh, it changes definitely depending on the sport. I find lacrosse way more relaxing than hockey. Just because, like, hockey, your last line of defense, right? I mean, if Ford messes up, he's got defense. If defense messes up, he's got us. If we mess up, we are crap, or we're a shit out of luck. And everybody else around us is typically going to blame us if something goes wrong in a sense sometimes. So hockey, you kind of got to be more strong-minded and, like, really, really focus up. Not to say that you don't have to really focus up for lacrosse, but it's just, like, I know I can be way more what's the word I want to use? Like, I can be way more free with what I do and not feel so like restricted of like going out and trying something different. Like whereas hockey, if you go and try something different and it backfires, it ends on the back of your net and it costs everybody. Whereas if I go out and I try something different for lacrosse and it doesn't work, I still got a lot of guys that can help me out and try and make sure that it doesn't affect us. So it's really nice in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a few more questions about hockey. Yeah. So what do you think has developed the most in your game since you started playing?
Definitely mindset. I'm someone that loves to compete, but is also like super hard on himself. So I remember being young and I just like, if I had a bad game, I was like, oh, I hate this sport. I'm done with this sport. I don't want to play anymore. This sucks. I would just kind of hate the world for a couple hours. That's it. So going from that to, all right, there's another game tomorrow. Just forget about that. The past is the past. You got to move on. Don't let it affect tomorrow is just like been a huge change for me mindset wise, as well as just like for just like athleticism. My game like 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was at South or whatever it was 5 years, 6 years at South Kent versus now at Aurora. It's just so different in the way I approach games, the way I step on the ice, for how I'm going to go through things. Just it's all changed and all changed in a better way. I mean, just like what all my goalie coaches have to say, there's always something different, but very beneficial for me to do. So it's good. It's really good. It's been a huge change for me from where I started to where I am now.
Yeah, so would you consider yourself a superstitious goalie, or what like what's your routine like during like a typical game day?
Yeah, I'm kind of superstitious. I mean, me and my defenseman Lord Anthony, we go to the Target by our house and we get Starbucks before every game. I get a frappuccino and a brownie, and I have the frappuccino before I get to the rink. I finish it before I get to the rink and have the brownie. I have 2 bites after warm up, after the first and after the second. So by the end of the second, it's gone. So I have a little bit of sugar between every period there. If we win, I won't retake my stick until we lose. So no matter how beat up it is, I kind of just roll with it. Like I'm not too big superstitious wise that way. And besides that, it's just more or less lead everybody out on the ice. That's it. Pretty simple. For routine before games, it's like I said, we go to Starbucks, get to the rink, put on my gitch, and then I go play a lot of sewer. A lot of sewer with a bunch of the boys and just stay as relaxed as possibly can. I don't listen to any like music or anything like that during that time. And then we go team stretch. Once team stretch is done, go back to the locker room and just like get ready. Put my headphones on and just kind of listen to everything. Just kind of hit shuffle on the phone, whether it's country, rock, rap, whatever it is. It's what I'm going to listen to. So kind of just go from there.
Yeah, for sure. So do you do any like on ice warm up stuff? Like when you're actually like on the ice for warm ups, or like what do you do for that?
I skate around, take one shot, go stretch, and then I get two of my players, Liam Sturtzinger and Sean O'Malley. They take my glove and block warm-up shots. So I'll do like 8 pucks, just strictly glove from both sides of them, and then take 8 to 10 shots on the blocker. Work on my stick quickly, and then I take two quick little in-type breakaways from them, and then we get into 3 lines. 3 lines, and we do breakouts. And we do half moon, and then it's pretty much go time. So nothing. I watch like NHL guys. You see like Bobrovsky and stuff like that doing like stuff off to the side, whether it's like slides, recover, T pushes, shuffle. I see a lot of guys do that, and I respect them for doing it. For me, it's not in my game yet. And until it's like I have a goalie coach saying like you need to do this, I don't think I'll incorporate it until that point. But I understand why some guys like to do it though.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that where I do go off to the side and do those recovery pushes and all that and T pushes.
Yeah.
I also do some hand eye stuff where I throw the puck up with my glove and then catch it on my stick.
Oh, like kind of like Bennington?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just gets you ready for it.
Oh, 100%. Everyone does something a little different, and it all works for them. So
yeah.
I know whatever works for you guys are doing it. Yeah, no, exactly. Don't ever let someone tell you can't do something.
Yeah, for sure. So I have like 1 or 2 more questions. So I don't know if you have any more, Tyler. But what's your favorite part about practices? Or what do you like and dislike about practices?
It's definitely competing. I don't know if you've ever done the drill 15 and 10. So the forwards have to score 15 goals in 10 minutes, and then the defense are with us. So it starts off on a 2-on-0, then it goes into a 2-on-1, and then it goes into a 3-on-2, and then it goes into a breakaway. And they do that for 10 minutes, and so the forwards have to score 15 goals. So the loser has to do 25 barehanded push-ups for whoever loses that. So you definitely get to yell at the forwards, and obviously both of our coaches were forwards. So Greeny's been working with the D. So Greeny's kind of cheering for us while Bloomy's cheering for the forwards. So we all have this like giant competition kind of going on. And then we get back into the huddle after deciding who wins. We all give each other more crap in there. So it's I love to compete, and so that's probably my favorite part of practice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who doesn't like yelling at their forwards?
No, honestly, I love doing it, especially in practice when you can piss them off and get them angry a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, it's the best part.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, so my final question is, I've noticed that you've had some pretty sick pad graphics over the years. So how do you like design those and all
that? So it's been pretty cool. I mean, I've never had custom gear before. But these past couple of years, I've had the opportunity to kind of mess around with CCM eFlex 3 freshman year, and then I've had Brian's these past 2 years. So I'm trying to think of a design for this year. So if you guys got any ideas for us in terms of colors, designs, or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. But kind of go off of like what I'm seeing and what I like. This past year, I based it off of Matt O'Connor's from when he was at Boston University. He had red ones and then had the Terrier and stuff like that. And I just thought those were the sickest pads I'd seen in a very long time. Just like with the colors matching with the jerseys and his style and stuff like that. I just thought it was awesome. I thought like the design was super cool and super clean. So I went with that this year. And then the previous year I went with that sharp design, the kind of, I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's just like a lot of sharp lines.
Yeah.
I saw a goalie from the Oakville Rangers around me. He did it, and I was like, wow, those things are sweet with the color zones and everything like that. And I try to do it with kind of the same colors, but obviously change the red with blue and the blue with gray just for our away jerseys. But it didn't look as sweet. But the blue with just a strict white, I thought it looked really clean but still looked good. So I went with that. So I said, yeah, this year – the biggest question is what I want to do. If we want to do a half Spartan helmet on each side and so they connect in the middle, or doing a big A on one side, a U on the other. Not 100% sure yet what I'm going to go with, but going to be as creative as possible. We had to be in the Winter Classic this year too, and so my hat design for my helmet I think will look pretty cool. Instead of actually having to wear a hat, I'll have one already painted on my helmet. So
that's sick.
Yeah, kind of excited for that. That'll be really cool as long as COVID doesn't come in and interrupt it. We're supposed to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that'll be that. Those are kind of been the way I've thought about pads, but I've seen some sweet designs and just kind of try to play around with whatever they have or whatever kind of matches with my team. But yeah, like I said, if you guys have any designs you guys can think of, that would work for our whether they're base blued or white based, that's fine with me. Just shoot me design or something like that. I love to see them.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely get on there and send you some graphics for it.
Would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So that's all the questions I have. Tyler, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I actually have two more that I wanted to ask you. This was at the very, very beginning of the episode. You talked about how I believe it was your mom got you into skating lessons and figure skating.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, did you yourself want to kind of play hockey or learn how to skate, or was it all your parents saying, no, I want you to do this?
Yeah, so I mean, I loved hockey, watching and stuff like that. To be completely honest, I thought I was at actual skating lessons, not figure skating lessons. I didn't know that until like probably 6 or 7 years ago. My mom was like, I still had the stickers from when you got awards for doing something right on figure skating. I was like, I did what? So it was kind of a shock to me, to be completely honest. I didn't know, but it was kind of funny now that I think back on it. But yeah, no, I always loved hockey, and I played mini sticks with my brother and my dad in the basement and stuff like that. But yeah, hockey's always been something I absolutely loved. My dad did it as well. Kind of my dad was kind of probably a little bit of a push on that side. Like, hey, let's get him on the ice, let's get him skating and stuff like that. Apparently, I cried a lot when I first got out there. So apparently, I didn't like it being on the ice, but I absolutely love being on the ice now. So kind of funny how that all plays out.
Yeah, and then my final question is, I couldn't help but notice you got that Toronto Raptors NBA champions hat on. It's a cool hat. What other sports do you enjoy watching in your free time? Like, what other sports teams are you fans of? Because obviously, with the Raptors hat.
Yeah, being from Toronto, definitely a Raptors fan. Absolutely love the Raps. I got a couple of jerseys, and I'll never forget last year's run. One of my buddies, he has an apartment in downtown Toronto, and that was like, I remember we tried to go to a bar and we just couldn't make it. So we decided, hey, let's just camp out in your apartment. Let's watch. And he's like, yeah, let's just do that. So we went out, got a couple of beers and brought it back and we watched it. And it was so cool looking at the street after they won and just watching everybody go nuts and stuff like that. And sure enough, like when they won in game 6 away in Golden State, like I remember you couldn't find this hat at a store. They were sold out for months. It was stupid. And I remember, like at the very end of the summer, like a week before I was leaving to go back to school, I saw it at a store. I'm like, I have to buy this. Like, there's no way I'm passing up on it. So Raptors for basketball for sure. Definitely a Jays fan for baseball. I'm not the biggest baseball guy, but if I'm gonna go watch a team, I'm gonna watch the Jays. Hockey, actually, I'm funny. I'm not a Leafs fan. I'm a Habs fan for hockey. So last year I went and saw, or my girlfriend got me tickets to go watch Montreal versus Chicago. And Price was playing too, which is my favorite goalie. I was lucky enough to get to see him play, which is really cool. And then like I enjoy watching college and some National League lacrosse. It can be pretty entertaining. And when they fight, it's literally it's a street fight. It's bare knuckle brawling at its finest, and you see some heavyweights throwing it around. Which is kind of funny and fun to watch sometimes. But yeah, no, definitely like watching basketball. Enjoy watching Jays when it was the playoffs, when Bautista did his bat flip and ran around the bases. That was something
electric.
Oh, that was so cool. I remember watching that live with a bunch of my Tiger buddies, and we were just freaking out at our GM's house that day. It was super cool. Super cool. But yeah, no, those are my teams then.
Yeah, those are very respectable teams as well.
Yeah, there's moments, and then you got years like last year where the Jays were just absolute trash. But we got some good prospects, so future's globe right there. And I mean, as much as I hate the Leafs, I also love watching Leafs. I think that they're just a very fun team to watch because they're so young and they have so much potential to do really, really well, but it doesn't always go that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe that's all we got for this episode. So, Josh, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. I love talking to you guys, and this is an awesome channel. So good for you guys, and really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll come out to a game next year, hopefully. If
That'd be awesome. We'll love that.
If COVID doesn't impact anything.
Yeah, seriously, and I'll definitely be at a Wolves game next year too, with going to see Paul, and hopefully my buddy's gonna be in town as well from Iowa. So we'll definitely I'll let you know if I'm heading out to one of those games by you guys and stuff like that. But no, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming on, Josh.
Hey, no worries. So talk to you guys later and stay safe, huh?
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks, guys.